Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Mohamad Zhafuan bin Mohamad Azhab, and this is my FYP project. My FYP project is called Combat Cells: Learning the Human Immune System via Game-Based Learning. To start off with, I would like to introduce my CSP lecturer, which is Dr. Noor, my supervisor, which is Sir Nabil, and my examiner, Sir Miss Intan. Before we begin on the project demonstration, I would like to go to the background study, and it is about immunology, which is the study of the human immune system. And this game covers three topics, which is the physical barrier, the innate immunity, and the adaptive immunity. Next, we have the problem statement. In this problem statement, we have the lack of visualization skills in learning complicated theories. Next, we have the lack of engaging materials in the learning process. So, the objectives of this project is to design a human immune system game via game-based learning, to develop a mobile application of human immune system game via game-based learning, and to evaluate the engagement of the human immune system game via game-based learning. So let's start with the project demonstration. So this is how the game looks like. This is the game and this is the menu screen. So in this menu screen, we have the settings, which we can change the volume. As you can see, the volume of the game is affected. Then we have the instructions, which shows the users how to play the game. So users have to tap on the screen to show the next instruction. Health bar keeps track of the health. Gold keep tracks of gold. Objectives gives the player tasks to do. And then we have the pause button to pause the game. We have a minimap to tell the player the location. We have a joystick controller, which moves the player's movement. And then we have a joystick for controlling where to shoot. Then we have an NPC which sells the item to a player. Then we have stairs which connects the current floor to the next floor. Alright, so after that's done, the users can now, by clicking the X button, it will close the app and users will stop it. So next we go to the play. And this is a introduction of the physical barrier. So surface barriers are the first line of defense. It's a narrative story. It prevents pathogens from entering the body. It consists of skin, mucus, membrane, and clotting. So the users can watch the text go on, or they can skip it by tapping. So this is an animation of what the skin does when bacteria or pathogens come in contact with our skin. Okay, they inhibit microbial growth on the skin. The secreted lactic acid and fatty acids lower the pH, thus preventing it from growing. Next, we have the nose, the mucous membrane. Cells that release fluids to wash away the pathogen, which is what mucus is. Okay, agents with lysosomes, they can destroy cell walls and destroy pathogens. Then it can be found in coughing and sneezing as well. Next, we have clotting, which is a mechanism by which broken blood vessels are repaired and when damaged. So in this animation, the skin cells gets burst and bacteria enters. And then once that bacteria has entered, the body will know that something not inside the body has entered and call these processes to seal the blood vessels and repair it. Okay, this prevents blood loss as well and limit pathogen access. Then it is created from platelets and to form a sticky plug. So the users can watch this animation over and over again until they understand the process. So now 5 stands, and then we can move on to the actual gameplay. So then dropping in, this allows. Okay, so when the damaged area is repaired, the clock will disappear. So combat cells takes place from the second line of defense, the innate immune system, which is mostly about it. So this is the gameplay. So as you can see, the user is able to click or hold the left stick to move the player. The right stick is to shoot, and then we can interact with the seller to buy or sell something, to buy only. Okay. So now let's go to the next floor. So in this loading map, alright, now that the game has loaded, we can try it out. So the objective is to try and kill it as fast as to go to the deepest floor, as the lowest floor as possible. Okay. So in this game, so the users are able to be controlled by the player, and whenever they collide with a wall, they are prevented from moving. So then another feature is that once a new door or a new room has been discovered, the door will automatically close and force the user to kill the enemy to proceed with the game. On the top right of the map of the game is a minimap. So right now the current floor is green, or the current room is green. That indicates where the current player location is. So if we go to a new room, after we try kill this, right? So a newly discovered or a new room will not appear. We can see that on the right there is a room, but on the minimap it doesn't show it. That's because it wants to tell the player to explore on their own. Only once it is discovered that the new room or that room will be discovered when turned to green or white. Okay. Alright. So this is the boss here. Alright, so we will have to kill the mobs first. Alright. Alright, so now that the mobs are done, we can now try kill the boss. So the boss isn't as difficult, but they are powerful. Oops. Okay. So once the boss is dead, the new stairs will appear and the users can go to the next floor. So on the next floor, it's the second version, and it's a different map, so users can explore more of the game. So let's try. Right. So the background is a bit darker, which to show that the player has entered deeper into the body to bring the mood out. Oh, cool. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. Alright, on the top left is the health bar, and as you can see, it's close to half. So before we proceed, let's make sure we heal up. So okay. So once we buy the item, the player will heal. Alright. So the special thing about this game is that each floor is randomly generated, and that means that whenever a new player plays, it will never be the same map, or very, very unlikely for it to be the same map, because it just generates by itself. So that's the fun thing about it, because it's always a new experience when playing the game, and it's never the same thing, which is what I intended it to be. Because if the rooms or the floor was always the same, players can predict and easily beat the game. So by making it a random, it adds difficulty and challenging, and makes it more fun when we're discovering new stuff and exploring. As you can see, right now the map has been extended so far that it's very, very big, which is very unlikely, but it still does happen on the chance it does. Oh my, it's a very huge map. Okay. Alright. Finally. Alright, so first let's get the mobs. Okay, more before I die. Kill him. Alright, so once we kill the boss, right, there will be a pop-up message saying, congratulations, by defeating your boss, the combat cell, which is the player right now, or the character, has found a weakness of the virus. Your attack is more effective, your defense has increased. So this is saying that but combat cell, this is how cells work. By defeating a virus or pathogens, it becomes more familiar with their weaknesses and traits. So then they can exploit this feature and then share this information with other combat cells and make it more easy. Okay, this is the third and final layer, the floor, and which is to be the boss, the two bosses. So because we are stronger in terms of attack and defense now, it should be easier to defeat them. Alright, let's go. Oh. Alright, so we have increased the damage from around 55 to 35, which is a huge increase and makes it easier to defeat. So once the player has defeated the boss, a body animation from gray to blue will appear to signify their health has improved. So a message will say, congratulations! You have cured the host body that is filled with infectious disease. Here is a summary of what you have learned from this adventure. 1. The human immune system consists of 3 layers: the physical barrier, the innate immune system, and the adaptive immune system. The physical barrier consists of responses in the skin, nose, clotting, and many more. In the innate immune system, the combat cell destroys and analyzes pathogens, learning what type of pathogen it is and the required antigens to deal with it. This information is passed on to other combat cells to retain it. 4. The combat cells get stronger after defeating each boss, similarly to a white blood cell. As the combat cell gets more experience with the same illness, or in this case the virus, it is able to deal with it with more ease. This creates a state in the human host in which he or she is immune to this particular illness. So once again, thank you for saving this host body, and that is the end of the game.